Well, my name's Adam Nye. I met Craig Tanner, gosh, it must have been, I don't know, September, October of 2008 at an open mic night run by Marcus Kuhlman at a place called Murphy's Law. And after that, we ended up walking over to Franklin Square, where we probably played till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And that started a long musical and friendship and relationship. We called ourselves the Harbor Pilots. We had to figure out a name for ourselves once we started booking gigs. And that went on for several years, probably 2000 and, gosh, I don't know, 12 to 2017, I'd say. Taught me a lot about life and music and art. You know, we just had the time and the desire to sort of play for many hours. And, you know, naturally you get a sort of connection with somebody. And that turned into, you know, playing gigs and running open mic nights and sort of being a working, gigging musician in Savannah, which I think was his goal. It was certainly my goal, still is. I still play out. And that's where it sort of all began for the both of us.
Just watching the footage of the Life as a Carnival stuff, recently got it again. It's just the thing that stands out the most from that show now is just seeing Craig and the power that we had that night. And it was just I'm so fortunate to share that experience with Craig and with the accomplices. And it was so great to get to do something on like a grand scale with Craig outside of the open mic, which kind of everyone knows Craig through open mic. So for Craig to be on stage at the Lucas doing a song that he would do at open mic, it was just a very memorable moment of the show. And so there's a lot of stories about everyone meeting Craig at the open mics in Savannah. And I actually have a different take because I was hosting the Abe's open mic when Craig would come in, and that's how we became friends. Craig just made everybody so comfortable in there. And, you know, especially if you're just starting out, and it can be intimidating. We've all been intimidated to get up there and try to do something like that, a performance. So yeah, I definitely picked up like things from Craig. Craig, I think, taught me how to record with the computers. He taught me Pro Tools, really kind of got me going and got me hyped up to start recording myself. With anybody playing music, like I learned how to do simple as that, just moving chords like that was a very big style with Craig with the and then he would do big runs up the neck. You know, he definitely influenced my guitar playing for sure.
And you could think maybe this is after the show we just played over at Victory North. If you want to think that way, go ahead. Maybe it is. I feel like I'm getting ready to raise hell in there. I don't know. But we're here to talk about Craig Tanner tonight, and we're at the place that he got his start here in Savannah. It's Abe's on Lincoln. He ran this outstanding open mic night here. Eventually brought on Brett Scott. Eventually they both left to go to different states and be at home and have boyfriends and wives and children. And then Susanna Kennedy took it over, and she's still running it today. So here we are, Craig, right here at your old spot. So one of the first songs that we played, if not the very first song that we played tonight, was Mockingbird. And Mockingbird has origins right here in Savannah, about how Craig wrote this tune that was inspired by this ridiculous bird. But you have to message him to learn more about it. And all right, that's my segment. The rest of the guys to come.
So my first time meeting Craig was at the Mullen McPherson's open mic night. It was my first time ever playing at an open mic, playing my music anywhere. and my guitar didn't work that night, and he let me borrow his guitar and was gracious in every sense of the word. And he told me to come back to Abe's. He said Abe's was the one that I needed to be at, and so I came to Abe's 2 weeks later, and I never stopped coming back. And then eventually, he discovered that I played the violin and would never let me leave without making me play Miramar with him, which was some of the most beautiful moments ever. I think it probably sounded more beautiful to us because we had about 10 Old Crows at that point by the end of the night. But it was super special nonetheless. And then after that, after a while, I was fortunate enough to get to play with American Hologram for a bit before he moved to Missouri. And that was sad. We all were really sad when he left. It was hard. But everything that he's built has continued to carry on, because when you build things well, they last. So Crossing the Wabash is one of those songs that pretty much everyone in Savannah tried to cover after Craig wrote it and started playing it. He would play it. I mean, he would always play it. It was one of his regular songs that he would play. And I don't think anyone ever heard it and didn't think it was just beautiful. So getting to sing that for the show was very special, because it's a song that I associate very, very much with Craig and just his music writing, who he is as a person. And it means a lot to all of us.
This is one of his songs that made a very big impact on the music community here in Savannah. A lot of different people covered the song and played it, and we're gonna play it for you, for Craig, for everybody that loves Craig. It's called Crossing the Wabash. Crossing the Wabash, way too fast. Been watching state lines as they go. Fields full of nothing, heart ever passed, and a mind is tired of the road. The bridges look burned, the leaves have all turned into snow, collects on the ground. Oh, caught a wire, the sky's on fire. Don't know if I'm lost or I'm found. It's amazing grace, a movement face that helps me to drive through the night. Keep pushing hours, can't wait till I rest and lose the past outside. Crossing the Wabash too fast, turning down the review. Crossing the Wabash too fast, I can't outrun memory of you. I can't outrun memory of you.
Before I became the man no one could see, I was a lot like you were a lot like me.
That's the first time I heard his version of Atlantic City, which was kind of his swan song. And then we got to do it at the Lucas with the Accomplices, which was just an epic performance. One of my favorite performances of that night at the Lucas Theater. But then I even got to play some drums on some of the stuff some of his original stuff, and being able to sing The Invisible Man at that show just now, man, oh, so powerful. I couldn't make it through, man. It's such a powerful song. But I just love his writing. I just love his voice. It's one of the things that's hard for me, is even as a singer, I don't want to sing his songs because I love his voice so dang much, you know? But I'm just happy to have been a part of that wonderful evening, and I'm thankful to everybody for being a part of it.
Is there any particular song that stands out that Craig has either written or performed?
Well, I tell you, I mean, just far as the heartstrings, The Invisible Man is the one that got me the most. But I gotta say, the one that I'd never heard until we started working on this was his song, The Safe Side. That's the one that I just am humming all the time. And it makes me feel good when I'm singing it in my head. You know, I think if I was going to pick one right now, that's the one that's really close to my heart.
When the weather's good, everyone else is throwing shit.
And do you think the music's going to stand the test of time?
I honestly think that once we get this out there, that there's no reason that to believe that the whole world isn't going to share our affinity for this songwriting. I think it's just a matter of getting it heard.
Yeah, I've got to agree, man. The words are powerful, the lyrics,
like an audio
just
studio,
the whole, everything behind it, man. I mean, it just hits you right in the old hearts, man.
I must confess, Craig, I have shared some of those recordings with my songwriting friends. Mum's the word. I know I didn't ask permission, but I knew that they were people that wouldn't share that music with until you actually officially released it.
I really like the
But I'd have to share a couple MP3s with my songwriting buddies in Nashville and go, listen to this shit.
All right, man. All right, Stan, great seeing you out here tonight.
See you, buddy.
Excellent job tonight. The Invisible Man, you just killed it.
Yeah.
Peace and love.
And I went to those religiously, like it was church, so I was always there. And we became friends that way. And then we ended up playing in a band together later, and that kind of came about because, who was it? I guess Eric Dunn was hosting Molly's Open Mic with Craig, and he was a friend of mine, and he played on Eric Britt's record, and he gave it to me to listen to. And I was driving at the time. I lived in Virginia, was coming back and forth to Savannah to perform and kind of make some money. And I was listening to that CD over and over and over and learned all the songs and kind of heard the harmony parts in them. And one day Craig was like, hey, I'm sitting with Eric Britt at City Market. It was like the last set on his regular gig on a Monday, and he invited me to come along and sit in. And Eric had never met me, so it was a real trooper of him to kind of be open about it. And so I showed up with my microphone and my tambourine, and we just started playing, and like the energy was really awesome, and the crowd started reacting and just putting more money in that tip bucket. And then after that, Eric had booked us some gigs, and they came up with the name, and American Hologram was born.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For the set that you did at Victory North for the tribute for Craig, which song was it that stood out the most to you?
Probably Safe Side.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. That was the song that Craig actually had chosen or asked some of us to sing certain songs to help out with the record. And then we ended up singing those live. And the version that we did of Safe Side was a little different from the original. Craig's was more guitar-based, and the tempo was a little faster. So we had to kind of drop it down as well into a different key for me and where I preferred to sing it. And we kind of slowed it down, and Andrew started playing the piano, and then kind of had this gospel flair to it, which I think really fit with the style of music that I like to sing. And but beyond that, like it was an honor to sing it. It was very emotional and kind of difficult, honestly, in the beginning, because before this show, hadn't sang in probably 3 years, like since the pandemic. I mean, my last gig was with Susanna March 11th, 2020. And after that, I feel like I didn't even play at the house or anything. I kind of was just blocked creatively. And this show kind of came along, and Eric asked me to be a part of it. And I obviously felt like I needed to, and I couldn't say no, because it was just, Craig has been such a big part of my life and is such a good friend and bandmate, and it just needed to happen. And this kind of helped me get over some physical issues I was having. Actually, I almost like forgot how to sing. I think I was holding my emotions inside, and like singing in the past was always a way for me to release stress and things, I guess, and I took that for granted. So when I first started to sing Safe Side, I honestly had to sing it like 100 times to just be able to get the words out and not just cry, just let everything like emotionally take over, you know, and finally got to a place where I was like, okay, like I can sing it now and get the words out. And then I started to like overthink in my head about technique and stuff. And luckily I had my friends that I was performing with who I hadn't been able to sing with in many years, and they're great and they help me relax and learn how to be myself again and kind of get it back a little bit.
Awesome. You did a fantastic job with Safe Side. Going forward, how do you think Craig's music is going to continue to touch future musicians? I know that many people around Savannah have heard him, and the word is getting out. So I asked Stan if he thought it would kind of stand the test of time.
Well, yeah, I mean, his lyrics are timeless in that way, and his influences are. I mean, you recording this and having everything being documented is the number one thing, honestly. Like, that's what gets art and words out there. So I think by having that documented and in formats that people are able to access and see and listen to, I definitely think his music will be everlasting.
So I haven't lived in Savannah as long as everybody else, but my wife lived here for a long time, and after we had lived in New York together for a couple of years, we moved down here, and I immediately tried, got myself plugged into the music scene. I think within 4 or 5 months, I had met Britt and Susanna and Ethan, Jalen, all the other guys, that are kind of in the scene and stuff. And I think it was not until the pandemic that I worked with Eric on anything. He called me because we were doing these quarantine concerts at the Tybee Post Theater, and he called me and asked me just like, hey, do you want to come play with me on this show? And he had never spent any time with me like playing music. I don't know if he ever heard me play guitar or anything. He just knew that I played, and I think we were all just kind of craving for like a human connection at that point. So we show up and we do the show. And then after that, Eric started asking me to help him and help some of his friends with some songs, because he knew I had a recording studio at the house and could play a lot of different instruments. And then that's how I got in touch with Craig to begin with. And that's how I got, involved in his music. And it was, about 2 or 3 years, almost 4 years ago now, we started working on a few things. And I just kind of fell in love with the thing. And then also we were all stuck inside. So it was a very easy thing for me to like dig into anything. But then it's like, oh, these are like really good tunes. And then a couple years goes by and he was still trying to wrap up some other things on his own. And then at a certain point, we'd all were talking and kind of realized, oh, we're going to need to really help him. Like, he asked me to help him finish this record and have all of his friends and everyone that, I now work with and love to come in here and work on it together. And what was great is, when the one big long tracking day that we had with Britt and Susanna and Eric and Stan and me all in the room, we were able to get Craig on FaceTime for like most of the day. And even though he wasn't hearing anything that was coming through our headphones, he was able to hear Eric or Britt sing one of these tunes and give production notes based on hearing a raw vocal through a shitty iPad mic. And it just really spoke to me of how intimate he is with his music and with the phrases he makes and the rhythmic choices he makes, and how they're very specific choices. It's not just something that is oh, I'm just playing guitar and singing. And it just it continues to amaze me every time I like pull up one of these songs. Like just now, listening to Galaxies. There's so many things that he's doing in there, and there's so many like lyrical choices and words he uses that I know are very specific and very intentional, and that's not something I get with a lot of other projects I work on. So even if this had nothing to do with Craig as a person in the world that I live in now, I would be a huge fan of these songs because he's just a great artist and a great writer. But the fact that he had such an impact on this town's music scene, on this town art scene, and has such a huge place in the hearts of so many people that I love and work with every day, I'm just, beyond thrilled and honored to be a small part of this.
Filming with a lens, baby.
How do you know if it's recording?
There's a little red light.
It blinks.
It wasn't on last time.
It was in focus though. It looked awesome.
Oh yeah.
It was straight.
If it had recorded, it would have been great.
All right, Craig. Now you're just wasting video.
Yeah. Buckets of rain, buckets of tears. I got all these buckets coming out of my ears. Buckets of moonbeams in my hands. I got all the love, honey, baby, you can't stand. I've been meek and strong like an oak. I've seen pretty people disappear like smoke. Friends will arrive, friends will disappear. If you want me, honey, baby, then I'll be here.
Deborah.
Tip jar.
Of the tip jar. Are you recording? You're recording the sound? Well, sing a little.
I like your smile and your fingertips. I like the way that you move your lips. I like the cool way that you look at me. God damn, this is a tough audience. I'm like, are they fucking laughing at me? God damn it. But they're putting money into something,
Oh boy.
What is that? Is that a wine?
Yes,
Little red wagon, little red bag. Ain't no monkey, but I know what I like. Like the way you love me, strong and slow. I'm taking you with me everywhere I go. Life is sad, life is a bust. You do what you can, you do what you must. You do what you must, and you do it well. I do it for you, honey, baby, can't you tell? I do it for you, honey, baby, can't you? I guess it's worth $1. That was
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Shot time.
Are you playing back there, Deborah?
Yeah, fuck it up.
I'm gonna fuck this up. I better not do it.
Go for it. Rocky and roll will never die. It's more than a picture. Meets the eye. This is the story of Johnny Rotten. pass down the aisle, you turn to see her beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smile. You can hear the words she wrote, she read and didn't know. Largest find, the greatest song. Though some would say it ease our pain, we both know that can't be done. Not even the sun, the bullets from a gun. No, nothing that's world can bring. Times 6 trillion. It's abstract, but that's a long way. That's a lot longer than your drive home. So, in a space that's that big, on a little ball, there's about 40 miles in between us and an unimaginable void. We're all here somehow at one time together.
For some reason.
So that you would at 10 till 8 bag out of this, and I just keep having. You'd have to be totally crazy.
It's the guilt trip.
It's the ultimate guilt trip.
We're gonna leave him alone in the universe.
Ultimate cosmic guilt trip. I'm very good at this to keep my friends partying with me because I'm manic as hell and I never sleep.
My ex-husband is Jewish. The guilt trip doesn't work on me.
Wow. I get it. I was converted to Judaism. The first one I was engaged to.
I'm really sorry. All right, welcome out, you guys. I think we're getting ready to get started here in a second. We're all here tonight to celebrate the life of Craig Tanner, and we are going to start out for the first 45 minutes or an hour or so and play a bunch of his beautiful songs that he wrote over the course of probably the last at least 10 years. And hope everybody has a good time and remembers Craig, raises a glass, shares a story, shares a laugh. We're really glad to have you guys here with us tonight. So make sure if you got something that you want to say or get a song to play after we're done, we're going to open up the mic for other musicians and family and people that want to share stories about Craig. Hope we can get Philip plays one. I see a few guys out there that have guitars and stuff, so it's going to be awesome. All ready then?
It's all good. I'm just sitting up here thinking because, like, I'm just remembering Craig, and this is like, I used to play with at Abe's before I was getting into my originals really hard, so I've been like back and forth. So I'm just thinking of all the stuff I used to play while Craig was there, where he encouraged me to be all about my shit. So here's another one. This one, last one wasn't wrong, of course, but this one was.
You know, if you knew Craig, he was intimidating but sweet. Like, he was just awesome. And you know, when I first started coming out, I was nervous as shit. Still nervous as shit. Can't quite fucking get over that yet. But like about 4 weeks in, Craig just asked me one time if he could sit down with me and just play along with me. Like, everybody's gone. It's just him and I at the end of the night at Molly McPherson's. And this is the first song we did, also of mine. It's called Lost at Sea. So, yeah. So for this last one, I'll get Susanna up here for me. But so Craig was insanely fucking encouraging. Like, I know, right? Bullshit for both of us. He, you know, eventually I took over that open mic from him in Molly McPherson's. He gave me my first show for my songs. He gave me my first show doing covers around town, and he believed in me, and he made me believe in myself and playing music in general. He was the most important person that I met coming out here and playing music. I swear to fucking God. He was amazing. I love that man. I would always love him. Thanks so much. Hey, we're all so much luckier in life for having fucking met Craig. I got a little shot left, drink it with. Cheers, guys, to fucking Craig. We're an American Hologram. We wanted American Hologram to play our wedding, but they moved away for a bit. So we got Eric Britt, and he brought some people together, and it was awesome, and we just thank him forever for playing our wedding. But the thing about it is, it's just like, you can tell, being the dreamer and the support of everybody that's musical is what he was all about. This is a song we always play for people that we are sending away with our family.
I'm gonna play one, and the only reason I even remember it is because Craig was lucky enough to record it for me. So, there you go.
I'm Randy Tanner, Craig's older brother, and Craig spent the last 2.5 years either in my home or the home of my sister, Mary Helen, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. Her son Brooks is here. And I would call Mary Helen the main caretaker, extremely close to Craig. And she shared something with me that I wanted to read to you right quick. When I realized Craig was right near the end, I called Mary Helen and said I didn't think there was much time. She came in to Atlanta on Sunday, and he passed away early the next morning. He'd been pretty non-communicative. I can't say that. He couldn't communicate very well because his diaphragm wouldn't support his talking. So here's Mary Helen saying, "We were so grateful at the time for Craig the day before he passed away. He was in a deep sleep when we arrived, but began to flutter his eyes and whisper once I kissed his cheek and shared with him how much I loved him. I also played a couple of his songs for him, and he seemed impressed with what he heard." All of the members of my family think we're comedians. With much effort due to his weakness, repeatedly he whispered that he didn't want me to worry, and I don't want you to worry, and that he was at peace. He told me that he was ready to go, and for the first time he shared how tired he was of the struggle. He rarely complained during this long, very challenging battle. I can testify to that. But rather talked about what a charmed life he had lived. The more alert he became over the next few hours, he told me that in his deep sleep he thought that he had passed away. Interestingly, he shared that he was disappointed when he woke up, but assured me with a little smirk that he really was glad to see me. He did become emotional when he asked for reassurance that we would be there for June. By nightfall, he was awake, alert, and a little stronger. Ray Little, Mary Helen's husband, and Craig had really bonded as they partnered and talked often about life and the challenges of facing death. Ray had a final visit along with Craig right before he went to sleep that Sunday night. Ray shared that Craig was weak but very clear, and he showed great courage as they discussed his being ready to give up the fight. Again, he talked to Ray about June, and Ray assured him that he would support and love her. Craig was very special to us, and while we regret deeply that he had such a tough journey over the past 3 years, we also feel deep gratitude for the time we had with him. We miss him. We miss and love you, Craig. And then right quick, one more thing, if I can get this to work properly. I've read this repeatedly, and I'm sure that most of you have probably read it yourself. Craig put this in the message that he had delivered at Victory North. The last thing that I want to say is the situation connected to my illness can seem heavy and sad, but please do not be sad for me. I have lived a charmed life, and getting sick, growing old, and dying are all parts of life. Ultimately, it's suffering and loss that makes us stronger and gives life meaning. Great wisdom in that. Ultimately, it's suffering and loss that makes us stronger and gives life meaning. And Craig and I shared a love for quotes. I spent time reading quotes and came with this one to encourage you to carry with you. And I'm going to certainly focus on it in my life. Tony Robbins said, "What is the quality of your life? It is the quality of your relationships." 370-something people sign on to Friends of Craig Tanner. I'm not sure I can gather 50. And you would not believe the testimonials I've had from people about the impact that Craig had on their life. So I think we would all be wise to remember, what is the quality of your life? It is the quality of your relationships. I want to thank you so much for being here, for all the love that you showed to Craig and to our family. And Craig would say something like, "Now I want you to party your ass off."
So I met Craig. I was traveling the country. I was kind of an avant-garde artist. I was playing at the Wormhole, and at that time in my life, I was doing something where I freestyle rapped and finger picked on my guitar for about 40 minutes, and that was my set. And so I'm going to speak to some things that kind of give the character of Craig and maybe what we can carry in our hearts. And pretty much everyone ignored my set, and I was a young man. And there was one guy who had his camera, and he just was hanging on every word. And yeah, so I'm gonna do a little freestyle like I was doing back when I met Craig to set it off to there's an energy onto these trees. Well, I got tears beneath my eyes when I go walking down the street. And now the masterpiece is never complete, but take a credit, we try to get free. Stay up all night talking about the system, but it always ends so different. I know your heart's softened over the years. Got through the bars and all the beers. I'm playing all night, thought it might have killed you. Then you made it back in the slaves for children. Then it came to go and I started to say, make it all town just anyways. And out like that one right, let it be. Take it all out and still get free. So after I played this gig, I met this, I was talking to Craig, and we really freaking connected, and I was like, damn, what a guy. And I was staying with these hippies, and a few days later, Craig came over, and he played this song. It was a beautiful song. It's kind of funny because he hates the artist, but he did such a beautiful rendition of it, so I'm gonna play a little bit of that. Chicken man in Philly last night. Blew up his house too. I didn't see Craig for like 5 years after I met him, and I was tramping around the country and I was singing outside of the Starbucks on whatever street that is, Liberty Bowl, and this guy with a baby and a guitar walked up and started intently listening to me. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, usually people didn't really stop back then. I was the dude with a big backpack, a pit bull. I make a little money, but nobody really stopped. But this guy really intently listened to everything I was putting down that night. And we got talking. He tipped me after I played a few songs. And I was like, I feel like I know you. And he was like, I feel like I know you. And he was like, Emor? And I was like, Craig? And it was just like, so longer story sped up, he moves me into his house that night. This guy didn't know me. He knew me, we hung out maybe an hour. He moved me into his sunroom. I was pretty shortly after babysitting June. And so it was kind of cool, but over the years, Craig kept looking out for me. He didn't even know my full name. And I would be staying at his house. He would send me emails. Hey, Emor, we're gonna be going to see some of Jill's family. The house is gonna, would you wanna watch the house in Luther? You can stay, so you can come write some songs and stuff. So that became kind of an important incubator for me. And I'm gonna play one of these songs. I mean, I'm having trouble with the sound and everything, but I'm gonna play it for the heart and for Craig, because he liked contrarians. He liked people off the beaten path a little bit. And my buddy from Western New York's in town, so I'm gonna play this one. This one's called The Buffalo Bills Keep Losing. I wrote it up at, I don't know where they live, 39th Street, was that where we were at? And, but I wrote this when I was up taking care of his plants. Kurt told me it was a good song. Oh, well, the train will come and the train will go and the heart will open and you know what I'm saying? This last song I'm gonna play is one of the last times I saw Craig, I was going to see him at Randy's in Atlanta, and this was the last song he ever requested me to play for him. He said he liked it a lot. I like the last time I talked to Craig was like very on brand for him. I called him I was out in Wyoming in this town he really liked. And I was talking about some of the legal troubles I was getting into or dealing with. And Craig could barely talk, and he couldn't talk, and he felt bad about being nonverbal. But he conjured up the strength while talking about the system. He goes, I'm sorry you gotta deal with that fucking system. And that's how I always remember Craig. I always remember him as rebellious, one of a kind, be your fucking self, a man. All right, so rest in peace, Craig, wherever you're at. Peace.
Woo! So thank you all for coming. It's absolutely fantastic being here. I'm going to take a minute of your time to let everybody know a couple of 2 or 3 little quick things. I don't know how many people know that recently we started a Facebook group called Friends of Craig Tanner. How many of you know about it? Yeah. And if you don't know about it, please know about it. Please check it out, because that's where friends of Craig Tanner are hanging out and showing love. Okay? And the idea behind that group is to gather as a community and share our love and our experiences and how Craig has affected our lives. And we all know what that feels like. So it's a group where we can collect ideas and thoughts and pictures and videos. And actually, today I know a ton of us will be taking pictures with Craig while the magnificent show is going to go on and whatever. So if you can join the group and upload there, Craig can watch it and see it at his, by and by. And most importantly, our dear June can have a place to go to and look and see what her father means to all of us. Okay, and that's important forever and ever. So please post and upload all your pictures, any messages, anything that tells us what Craig means to us. And it would be a nice little repository of pictures and videos, okay? So thank you for doing that. The next thing I want to do is, because Craig cannot really talk individually to each of you, he has asked me to read a message to you to express what this gathering, this moment, and this affection and love means to him. So I am going to try and get through it without crying, but if I do, please excuse me, okay? All right, here goes. This is from Craig. I greatly appreciate everyone indulging me in saying a few things before American Hologram begins their set. For the people that have known me since the time I played music in Savannah, you are going to experience 2 miracles tonight. Aha. 1, due to the weakness in my diaphragm, you will not have to listen to me rant about the evil cabal that runs the world. And 2, because I'm already lying flat on my back, you will see me in close proximity to a bar without a tall glass of Old Crow whiskey in my hand. There you go. I want to say a big thank you to Victory North for supporting local original music. I also want to say a huge thank you to everyone here for supporting this show. I especially want to thank my friends, whom I have not seen in a very long time, who have traveled very far to be here tonight. So, thank you. In April of 2005, I taught a photography workshop in Savannah, and after the workshop, there was a party. And after the after party, I was still reveling in what a great week it had been. I walked from Congress Street to Wright Square at 2 a.m. in the morning and sat down on a bench just to continue reflecting upon what an incredible thing that I had just experienced. There was no one in the square except for a couple of mockingbirds that were going off and echoing throughout the square. And I suddenly said out loud, unconsciously to myself, "This is my home." And even though I didn't move to Savannah until 6 years later and moved away in 2017, ever since that night in Savannah, Savannah has been my home. So many incredibly great things have happened for me here, including the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, for me in my life, which was the birth of my daughter June, who was born in Savannah on St. Patrick's Day 2015. Because my condition will keep me from being able to talk much to people individually tonight, please indulge me as I go a little deep for a minute. And please be aware that I could be very wrong about everything I'm about to say. As human beings, most of what we think we know is probably wrong. And what we don't know infinitely eclipses what we think we know for sure. So a lot of humility is called for. But having said that, I believe that the purpose of life is to know yourself and to be true to yourself, and most importantly, to help others do the same. As easy as it is to fall in love with Savannah's stunning physical beauty, the true reason that Savannah is my home is because it is where I have been most supported by community and friends in terms of being true to myself. There's something profound about the culture of the city, possibly connected to the fact that it is very rare in modern America for a city to be a true walking city, where people walk and regularly physically interact. That seems to cut through a lot of the ways that we shield ourselves from each other and who we really are. In addition to the fact that in Savannah people regularly interact face-to-face for its size, Savannah has an incredibly large, talented, and tight-knit music community. I believe that music is the world's most powerful language, and one of the strongest ways that people work together to build community. Even though I said I wouldn't want to rant about the evil cabal, I truly believe that we are living through a dark time of great corruption and great deception. And I do not believe that our problems will be solved by mentally being at war with each other in terms of who should be in charge of everyone. There is no right way for everyone to live. And trying to force one way of living upon everyone from a centralized place is what I believe has led the world into such a dark time. I believe that this event tonight is a perfect example of how we make the world a better place. We do it through cooperation and love, and by being true to ourselves, our families, and our communities. And we solve our problems at the local level. Words will never be able to express the gratitude that I have for my friends and the musicians who have made the idea of me finishing my music and this show tonight possible. From the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to Eric Britt, Britt Scott, Susanna Kennedy, Stan Ray, Ryan Kelly, and Andrew Savine, the members of the band that will be playing my songs tonight so beautifully. I also want to say a huge thank you to my family, my brother Randy, his wife Diane, my sister Mary Helen, and her husband Ray, who have taken care of me for the last 2 years. Caretakers often suffer more than the people that are sick. It's an incredibly difficult role, and my family members have acted as my caretakers with never-ending generosity and grace. I wish I could see them. It's so dark out there. Last thing I want to say is the situation connected to my illness can seem heavy and sad, but please do not be sad for me. I have lived a charmed life, and getting sick, growing old, and dying are all parts of life. Ultimately, it's suffering and loss that makes us stronger and gives life meaning. I am honored through American Hologram to be opening tonight for my dear friends Savannah Kennedy and Mac Eckstein and the Great Swamp Tooth. One more thing, everyone, please generously take care of the Victory North staff and party your ass off and have a great time.
So much fun getting to play music with all your friends on this historic stage and theater. It's pretty awesome. So this next guy we're gonna bring out here, I met playing open mics here in Savannah, and I can't say anything, but this is a great guy. We got Craig Tanner here coming out.
Y'all ready? Howdy, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Very happy to be playing this song with my friends and the accomplices. Very thankful to be here tonight.
They blew up his house too. Down on the boardwalk, they're getting ready for a fight. Gonna see what them racket boys can do. Now there's trouble busting in from out of state, and the DA can't get no relief. There's gonna be rumble out on the parade. And the gambling commissioner's hanging on by the skin of his teeth now, baby. Everything dies, baby, that's a fact. Baby, everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, get your hair pretty. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Bills and no honest man could ever pay. So I took what I had from the Central Trust, and I bought us 2 tickets on that Coast City bus. Now, baby, everything dies, baby, that's a fact. Baby, everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, get your hair pretty. Tonight in Atlantic City. Well, our love may have died, buckets run cold, but forever with you I'll stand. Well, we're heading out to where a dream hard to find. Down here's just winners and losers. You don't get caught on the wrong side of that line. I'm tired of coming out on the losing end. So honey, last night I met this guy. I'm gonna do a little favor for him now, baby. Everything dies, baby, that's a fact. Baby, everything that dies someday comes back. You put your makeup on, get your hair pretty. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Thank you so much. I love the Accomplices. Thanks so much to the Accomplices and Trainwrecks for having me out. Have a great Thanksgiving.
I'd like to bring out
We call my name long before the fire could ever burn out. You were a beauty unknown, and then we turned dead to stone, and then the mystery was gone from this place. Don't matter how far you run, how high you climb, still under the same, still under the same, still under the same blue sky.